The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN2 studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 7-4 Colfax Vikings will try to build their conference record as they take on the 3-6, 1-3 in conference play, Elmwood Plum City Wolves. The Vikings are coming off a 68-50 victory over the Boyceville Bulldogs last night, while the Wolves are coming off a 65-48 loss to those same Boyceville Bulldogs last Thursday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Elmwood Plum City Wolves and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, Jay Fall and Dan Petshaw will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's game between the Elmwood Plum City Wolves and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are looking to follow up on their victory last night when the Vikings defeated the Boyceville Bulldogs 68-50. Now, in that game, physical play was critical, and the Vikings needed to summon every bit that they could find. The Vikings were led in scoring by 6'4" senior Jack Charlo, who hit on 8 field goals and went 2 for 5 from the free throw line for 18 points. He was followed by Elijah Ensminger, who nailed 6 field goals, 3 of which were 3-pointers, and hit on 1 of 3 from the charity stripe for 16 points. Meanwhile, Aiden Fisher and Mason Yarrington each added 9 points. So far on the season, leading the way scoring for the Vikings is Charlo, who's averaging 18.5 points per game. He's followed by Ensminger, who's putting up over 16, and Nick Jensen, who's chipping in 8. Leading rebounders for the Vikings are Charlo, who's averaging 9 per game, and Jensen, who's pulling down 7 per game. The Wolves come into tonight's game with a 3-6 overall record and are 1-3 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, following their 65-48 loss to the Boyceville Bulldogs Thursday night. Now look for the Wolves to be led in scoring by 5'11" sophomore Lucas Glaus, who's shooting 41% from the floor and 40% from three-point land, as he averages over 17 points per game. He's followed by 5'8" junior Blake Allen, who adds nearly 11 points per game. Football standout 6' senior Trevor Asher is chipping in another 8 points per game. Now on the boards, the Wolves are led by Asher, who's pulling down 8 boards per game, while Allen and 6'2" junior Aiden Maxwell each grab another 4 per game. So far on the season, the Wolves are scoring at a 50-point average while giving up 59 points per game. The Vikings are averaging over 60 points per game while allowing an average of 56. Now coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again on Coach's Corner, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Knoll. And Coach, last night the Vikings battled their way to a hard-fought physical win over the Boyceville Bulldogs. Your comments about that game?
Yes, it was a very physical game. I'm sure it was fun for the fans to watch just because it was an intense game. But with that said, I thought our boys did a good job of adjusting to the physicality of the game and come out on top.
You know, you made a comment in the postgame last night about learning to adjust to the way the officials call the game. And it really doesn't matter how they're going to call it as long as it's even on both sides. And it was last night. But you have to adjust to the way they're going to call it. It's similar to the same thing you tell baseball players in that you ask them what the strike zone is, they'll give you all kinds of thoughts about the letters and the knees and stuff. And it really isn't. It's strike zone's whatever the umpire tells you it is. And you just have to hit according to that. And it's kind of the same philosophy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the same mindset. You know, when you're dealing with young kids, right, because they're 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, they can get too emotional if things don't go the way as they think it should go. And so we always talk about adjusting to just adjust to how the game's being called, adjust to how, you know, people around you are playing, adjust to how the team is playing, as a, you know, what kind of defense they play. You have to make those adjustments, and the team that does is the team that comes out on top.
Now, after a game that was as physical as the one last night was, there's two questions that pop into my mind. A, did the boys come out healthy? And B, is there anything left in the tank for tonight?
Oh yeah, we're healthy, and there's still more in the tank. I mean, I can remember being at that age, and when the game was done, I was ready. You could have played a whole nother game, you know. So during the summer, we've had you know, leagues where our Oak Mountain League, we had to play back-to-back games. Or during the summer, have to play 2 games, take a game off, play another game. So physically, they can handle it. Having only one game last night and then one today, we'll be fine.
Now tonight, the Vikings will take on the 3-6 Elmwood Plum City Wolves, who are 1-3 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. What can you tell us about the Wolves and the challenges they present?
Well, they're going to most likely, I would think they're probably going to play some 2-3 zone, you know, and their man. I'm sure they're going to throw some different junk things at us, you know, because they have nothing to lose. So they're going to be ready to, you know, play a lot of different things at us. We just have to come out with the mentality of attacking, you know, and if we can attack and if we can use all of our depth, which that's what we talked about in the Boyceville game, is I want to be able to use our depth. So last night you saw me right away early in the game, sub 5 kids in all at once. Big part of that was for our depth, you know, get them going, get them playing. And then because we know it's a 3-game week, so we want to play as many kids as we can so we can stay fresh and healthy and be on top of our game.
Now, last night you made the comment that you were sure that the physical nature of last night's game made it a fun game for the boys. In addition, you had the chance to play in front of a home crowd. Now you're back at home again tonight. Can you comment about how those factors can boost the adrenaline level in what would otherwise be somewhat tired bodies?
Yeah, I think, like if you are maybe, you know, a little tired or something, you can usually overcome that because you have a nice crowd at home. You know, I think at Colfax we get a nice environment. You know, we get a good following of people that come to watch the games, and you know, and I think with the boys, they appreciate that. They appreciate the support, and they're having fun right now. And to me, that's what, you know, playing sports is all about: is being with your teammates / your brothers and having fun.
Well, Coach, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can keep within striking distance of that Dun St. Croix Conference lead.
Thank you, and I appreciate everything you guys do. Go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Vikings are hoping to build on their performance from last night, where they battled to come out on top in a tough physical game, as well as remain in the conference race. On the other hand, the Wolves would like to get back to winning and get back into the Dunn-St. Croix Conference race. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where our broadcast crew is ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys game between the Vikings and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean, fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned, coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually, your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Vikings steal the pass. This is Charlo driving down the left side of the lane, puts it up. It goes in and he draws the harm.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 proudly present today's Colfax Viking Boys varsity basketball game.
Down to Jensen and on the right baseline, puts it up and in. This is what you were talking about a couple days ago, Dan. Jensen's got to put those shots up, and he's doing it.
Join us as we head out to the gym for today's Viking basketball.
Good evening and welcome to Colfax for the second game in the Dunn-St. Croix tonight. Or of the last two nights, the second game is tonight. The Elmwood Plum City Wolves are in town. The Wolves come into this game with a conference record of 1 win and 3 losses, and they are 3-6 on the season. Colfax, with their win over Boyceville last night, comes in 2 wins, 3 losses in the conference, and they are 7-4 on the season. So that puts the Vikings in 4th place in the conference, and Plum City Elmwood is in 5th. So break up a little bit of a tie tonight in the conference. Things are pretty close. Other games going on the conference tonight. Elk Mound is visiting Spring Valley, battle of conference unbeatens. Glenwood City and Boyceville face off in Boyceville tonight. Mondovi is at Durand, Arkansas, and Plum City Elmwood is here at Colfax. The JV Vikings ended up defeating the Wolves by a score of 34-30. Elk Mound is at Spring Valley. Yeah. So, 3-0 Spring Valley and 2-0 Elk Mound. This should be another good matchup here tonight. Dan, conference or the record's pretty similar and that sort of thing. And I think it seems like almost every game in the Dunsink Croix is a rivalry game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this conference is getting tight really fast now. Let's see, for the boys, we are close to halfway, maybe halfway through the season. Girls are already past the halfway mark, and Colfax boys and girls are scrapping here in the second half.
The last game coming into here that Elmwood Plum City had was a week ago, or actually this past Thursday, and they lost to Boyceville 65-48 as the Colfax boys won last night. Taking a look at some individual statistics, Jack Charlo is the leading scorer. He had a banner night again last night. He's averaging 18.5 points a game. Elijah Ensminger pretty close behind him at 16.3, then Nick Jensen at 8, and Aiden Fisher at 5.4 points a game. As far as rebounding goes, Charlo the leader, 8.5, Jensen 6.6, and Ensminger 4.1 per game. Taking a look at the Elmwood Plum City side, their leading scorer is number 5, Lucas Glaus. He's averaging about 17 points a game. Blake Allen is at 10.6, and Trevor Asher at 7.9. Asher is the leading rebounder, also averaging 7.9 rebounds a game, followed by Blake Allen at 4x4 and Aiden Maxwell at 4.1. Teams continuing to warm up. We're a few minutes away from tip-off of tonight's game. We will take a break and come back. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Taking a look at some team stats, comparing these two teams, Colfax has outscored their opponents 596 to 570, where Elmwood Plum City has been outscored by their opponents 528 to 447. As far as the team, field goal shooting, Colfax has been shooting 44%. Compared to their opponents' 40%, and the Elmwood Raiders shooting at 32% and their opponents at 41%. As far as rebounds, Colfax out rebounding their opponents slightly, 27 to 25, and it's turned around. No, actually, Elmwood Plum City is out rebounding their opponents by about the same margin, 29.7 to 27.8. So, Dan, this will be an opportunity for the Vikings to pick up some ground in the conference.
Right, yeah. Elmwood. Colfax is, everybody is healthy for the most part. We did have a little problem with Schwartz, who comes off the bench, but everybody's healthy. They just got to play good defense tonight and try to get some rebounds.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV excited to once again be your home for Oak Creek Cavalier baseball. Follow the Cavaliers throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Well, teams on the sidelines, and we will have the national anthem and introduction of starters here. And we will take you courtside for that very shortly here.
Would everyone please stay at the table, remove your hats, and place your hand over your heart to honor the flag. As the national anthem was sung by Colfax High School students, Ava Sedeby and Emma Howells. Boys Basketball match between the Elmwood Plum City Wolves and your Colfax Viking. Introducing the starters for the Wolves. Number 2 junior, and now the starting lineup for your Colfax Viking.
So there are your starters. Again for Elmwood, it's 5'8" junior guard Blake Allen. Number 2, Lucas Glaus, 5'11" sophomore guard. Number 5, Bo Holt.
Colfax High School sportsmanship is an expectation, so please let the players play, the coaches coach, let the officials initiate, and let the spectators be positive. Thank you fans, players, and coaches for letting our sportsmanship show. Have fun watching us play.
And sportsmanship reading. Elmwood's starters continuing: 6' senior forward number 20, Bo Holt. Trevor Asher, guard forward, 6' senior 21, and Christian Martin, 6'12", senior guard. Opening tip goes back to the Vikings. It goes to Ensminger. And he'll take it back in the middle, bounce it over to Johnson. Back to Irwin. Johnson now down on the left side baseline to Charlo. Back out on top to Irwin. Irwin to Johnson. Johnson, free throw line extended. Back to the top of the key. Now down the other side to Ensminger. He heads down near the corner. Back out on top to Irwin. Down underneath. Wide open is Charlo. Goes up. Just rolls off. Rebound pulled off of the boards by Bo Holt of the Wolves. Christian Martin will bring it up the floor. Crosses the center jump circle and gives it to Lucas Glaus. Back to Martin. Now out to Blake Allen. To Christian Martin, wing on the far side. No score. between Colfax and Elmwood Plum City. 17 minutes left first half. Up on top to Allen. Allen to Glaus. Drives in, halfway down, goes to Martin. They'll go back out in the middle to Holt. Colfax playing a man-to-man to defend the Wolves, and the pass goes underneath to Blake Allen. Looks, turns around off the glass from 5, and the Wolves are on the board first. Elmwood Plum City 2, Colfax nothing. Vikings bring it up the floor. It's Irwin, give and go on the right wing to Ensminger. Ensminger bumped around a little bit between the jump circle and the wheel, gives it to Irwin. Irwin drives along the right side of the lane, and we are going to have a foul charged to Elmwood Plum City's Lucas Glaus. First foul of the game for anybody. And Kyle Irwin goes back to get the ball, right side underneath the basket. Ball bounced in there to Charlo. Charlo up off the glass. We're tied at 2. 16-16 to go first half. So Wolves bring it up the floor. It's Christian Martin. Martin being guarded by Irwin. And an outlet pass goes underneath to Glaus. He misses it, and the ball gets loose. And the foul's going to be charged to Kyle Irwin. It's the first Colfax foul and the first one for Kyle Irwin. Asher's going to throw it in underneath the Wolves basket left side, or check that that's Holt. He gets it into Asher. Asher will drive it up against Charlo off the glass and puts it in. 4-2 Elmwood Plum City. Irwin, the right wing, drives the lane, bounces it down on the baseline to Charlo. Charlo has to stop his dribble. He picks it up and puts it in. Tied at 4, 15:40 to go first half. Wolves up the floor. It's Holt gets the pass from Asher, or check that, that's Martin. Now it's over to Asher on the ring. Back down inside, right side of the lane. At the top of the key, they leave Asher open. He'll drive up, and he's fouled over the top, going up by Jack Charlo. 15:23 to go first half. 4 points apiece between the Elmwood Plum City Wolves and the Colfax Vikings. Jay Fall, Dan Pachow with you. Chris Olson on the camera. Executive producer Rick Olson here as well. First free throw up and in. And Asher will take his second. And drains it. 6-4 EPC leading Colfax. Inbounds pass goes into Jensen. Colfax still in the backcourt. We're going to have a foul charge to Christian Martin. First foul on him. That is the second team foul on the Wolves. Johnson's going to throw it in. Still looking around. Gets it right inside to Irwin. Quickly up the floor, Charlo to Jensen for the short jumper on the right side. Colfax ties it up. We're at 6-6. Coming up on 15 minutes to go in the first half. Martin off on the left wing to Allen. Back up on top to Holt. Holt lets it fly, 3-point land. Rebound goes into the hands of Trevor Asher. And then he'll drive it, give it to Christian Martin, who will dribble it out. Pass goes to Glaus. Glaus going on the right side, misses it, and Jensen steals it away from Bo Holt for the Vikings. Driving in is Ensminger. He'll drive to the free throw lane and dribble back out. He'll give it to Blake Johnson to help him out on the right wing. Both teams still in a man-to-man. 14:23 left first half. Driving in Ensminger. And as Elijah drives in, he is fouled by Blake Allen of the Wolves. His first, Elmwood's third of the first half. Now we'll have some substitutions on both sides, and we have a timeout on the floor. 14:20 to go first half. We're tied at 6, Elmwood Plum City and Colfax. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2, and Viking TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Kyle Irwin's going to throw it in for the Vikings underneath the Colfax basket on the left side. Goes all the way out on top to Ensminger. To Johnson. Johnson from free throw line left, back to Ensminger, and then in the middle but to Irwin. Irwin to Ensminger, right side for three. Hits the rim, no good, but Charlo tries to put it up. It's blocked. He's going to go out to Irwin, and Irwin will hit it from the top of the key for 3 points. Colfax 9, EPC Wolves 6. As the Wolves bring it up the floor, it's Martin. Martin drives off on the left side, pass to Holt, and then he'll flip it back to Allen on the left wing. Over to Asher, and it goes right into the hands of Jensen of the Vikings. He'll hand it off to Charlo. Charlo takes it to the other end, and he's fouled on the way up as that ball hit the back of the rim and came out. That foul's going to be called on Trevor Asher. That's his first and the fourth team foul of the half for the Wolves. Jack Charlo shooting for Colfax. Shot one falls short. And looks skyward, sends the second one up. That one doesn't go in either. Trevor Asher comes up with a rebound to Blake Allen, who'll bring it up the court for the Wolves. Guarded by Ensminger, he'll get a pass off to Holt. Holt fires down underneath to Martin. Martin on the baseline, caught by Johnson. Johnson right with him, he's got to bring it back out on top. Johnson still looking. He'll go cross-court free throw line extended to Holt over on the far side. Holt driving the baseline, tries to get a pass over to Aiden Maxwell, and it went out of bounds before it got anywhere near him. Colfax will take it back. 13:09 to go first half. It is Colfax 9, Elmwood Plum City Wolves 6. On the middle it goes to Johnson. And a baseball pass. Wow, a hot one to Ensminger. Too hot for him to handle it. It goes out of bounds. Elmwood's going to get it back. "13 minutes remaining in the first half." So Blake Allen's going to throw it in for Elmwood Plum City. To Glaus. Back out to Allen. At the jump circle, crosses it with Johnson guarding him closely, and Devin Pomeroy looks at one. He'll make a pass to Glaus. Glaus goes up too hard. Loose ball into the hands of Ensminger. Ensminger driving on the right side. And we're going to have a foul called on Lucas Glaus of the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. No, actually, they're going to say that is the second one for Blake Allen. So Allen's going to come out, and he's replaced by Martin. Irwin into Ensminger. And Irwin will get it back as he comes off the baseline. Ensminger for three, bangs around, rolls out. Rebounded by Asher. Asher to Martin. Martin crosses the 10-second line over on the far side. Makes a pass to Trevor Asher. Asher alley-oops it from the baseline on the left side. And cuts the Colfax lead to 1, 9-8 Colfax. Ensminger gets the ball in the corner, out on the top to Irwin. Irwin out to Johnson. Back to Irwin between the jump circle and the wheel. And he'll bounce it back to Ensminger. Ensminger pops it up from the free throw line. Shot blocked into the hands of Lucas Glaus. He's going to take it down to the other end off the glass and in. Now Elmwood Plum City leads 10-9, 11:45 left first half. Irwin down in the corner underneath Ensminger. That shot just won't go. Tough shooting so far in the first half for Colfax. 11:37 remaining, first half. Throw in goes to Christian Martin. And he is being guarded. I think that's Mason Yarrington at a different number. Down underneath, Elmwood goes up, Devin Pomeroy, and it is stolen away by Colton Hoffman. Hoffman out to Yarrington, wearing number 20 tonight. And he'll dump it back to Medine. Set it up. Medine to Fisher. Yarrington takes it from three-point land. Back iron, no. Rebounded by the Wolves' Lucas Glaus. Glaus will give it to Holt. Or check that, that's Martin. Martin driving in, has to go through a wall of Viking defenders. And the foul is going to end up going to Colton Hoffman. That's his first. 5 fouls for EPC and 3 for Colfax. Inbounds pass goes into Pomeroy to Martin. Back out free throw line left to Aiden Maxwell. Maxwell with a high pass. It's tipped by Medine away from everybody. It goes out of bounds. Elmwood's going to hang on to it. 10:40 remaining first half. 10-9. Elmwood Plum City just out in front of Colfax. Glaus will pass it into the backcourt to Aiden Bertzer now into the ball game for Elmwood. Christian Martin up high on the left side. Martin dribbles in, gives a pass off to Glaus. Then down underneath it goes to Aiden Maxwell. Maxwell is forced out of bounds. And it looks like we're going to have another foul charge to Colton Hoffman. It's his second, Colfax's fourth of the half. Inbounds to Glaus. Glaus lets it fly, three-point land. Jensen is going to go up for the rebound, and he is undercut by Devin Pomeroy. That's Pomeroy's first. 10:19 remaining first half, 10-9. Elmwood Plum City leading the Colfax Vikings boys. Medine up the floor for the Vikings. Give and go to Yarrington. Yarrington out to Medine. Medine, 16-footer. Hits the rim, no, but Jensen there for the putback and basket. 11-10 Vikings. Elmwood Plum City bringing it up the floor. It's Christian Martin. Martin drives to the top with the key. Dishes it halfway down on the far side to Asher. Glaus comes up on top to help him out. Glaus goes around 2 Vikings. Shot missed. Rebounded by Charlo for the Vikings. Charlo scoop pass it back to Medine, and the Vikings will set it up. Give and go back to Charlo. Charlo drives, trying to put it up, loses the ball out of bounds, and Elmwood tries to save it. They do. Glaus gets it into Bertzer. And Martin will bring it up the floor for the Wolves. Wolves to Bertzer, down inside on the lane to Asher. Asher up from 5, missed. Nice rebound by Jensen, just reached his long arm out there and pulled it in. Medine bringing it up the floor for Colfax. Back out to Yarrington. Give and go to Fisher. Fisher drives the lane, pops it up from 7, shot falls short, rebounded by Aiden Maxwell. 8:50 remaining first half, 11-10. Colfax leading Elmwood Plum City by 1. Asher over to Martin. Back to Bertzer. Out in the near corner, now they'll fire it into Martin. Martin will go up over the top, off the glass and in. Elmwood Plum City now leading by 1, 12-11. Medine up the floor for Colfax. Over to Charlo, to Fisher. Back and forth and down in the corner to Yarrington. Jensen looks, fires opposite corner to Medine. Medine driving up and trying to shoot it over the top of Jensen. No good. And we're going to have a foul charge to Mitch Medine of Colfax. So sort of a line change there for Colfax. Irwin, Ensminger, and Johnson, 3 of the starters back in. Elmwood will bring it up the floor. It's Christian Martin. Martin being guarded by Kyle Irwin. Then it's to Lucas Klaus. Goes up with a shot, missed, rebounded by Charlo. Charlo quickly up the floor, going to take it himself, fire off to Ensminger. Ensminger in the corner, back out to Charlo, and Charlo going up, and the shot no good. All goes out of bounds off the Wolves.
In the first half in Elmwood, Spring Valley, Elk Mound's up 14-11.
Elijah Ensminger brings it out to the jump circle. He'll drive the right side of the lane and left open, misses the layup. And the Wolves bring it up the floor. It's Christian Martin. Martin out to Holt. Low on the left side, Asher. From the corner, Martin for 3. Elmwood stretches their lead to 4. It's 15-11. Elmwood Plum City out in front of Colfax. Irwin looking to go somewhere with it, trying to get it back to Ensminger. It's picked off by the Wolves. Lucas Klaus will come up with it. Klaus out to Holt. Holt out free throw line left to Asher. Other side of the lane to Bertzer. He'll put it up from 15, missed, but the putback is up and in for Lucas Klaus. 6:35 remaining, first half, 17-11. Elmwood Plum City give and go back to Ensminger. Ensminger out to Irwin. Back to Ensminger. He'll look at a three-pointer. Keeps it around the arch to Irwin. Irwin drives the lane. He's up in the corner and gets a pass out to Charlo. Then Irwin gets it back to Charlo. Back then out on top to Johnson. Ensminger, free throw line right for 3. Feeds it into Jensen. Jensen's waiting for somebody to come and get it, and he's going to take it himself off the glass. Miss. And going up for it, Charlo. And he can't get a hand on it. Elmwood Plum City comes up with it. It's Asher, or that's Martin. Martin to Bertzer. Bertzer out to Holt halfway down. Back out to Bertzer. Back to Holt. He'll flip it over the top of the basket, but Martin will come up with the rebound. He'll get it out on top to Glaus, and Glaus took a step before he went in. Turned over to the Vikings, 5:31 first half. It's 17-11. Elmwood Plum City leading Colfax. Into Jensen and then back to Johnson. Quickly up the court it goes to Jack Charlo. Charlo up on the left side to Aiden Fisher, who puts in a layup on the left side and closes the gap to 4, 17-13 EPC. Bertzer out to Glaus, and the pass goes back out to Holt. Holt misses it, and Johnson will fling it up the floor to Ensminger. Back over on the left side, shot missed, rebounded by Martin. Martin, free throw line right, drives in and left a path on the left side. He misses the layup. We're going to have a jump ball. It'll be possession Elmwood. 4:51 to go in the first half. It's 17-13. Elmwood Plum City leading. They've got the ball. Devin Pomeroy up on top. Ends up going back to Bertzer. And we have a foul underneath. That's going to be charged to Nick Jensen. Actually, no, they're going to charge that to Elijah Ensminger. 4:44 left first half, 17-13. Elmwood Plum City Wolves lead as Pomeroy's shot missed. He'll get a second. Second one goes up, that one goes in. And Elmwood Plum City will send Riley Beckel in to give Christian Martin a breather. Blake Johnson down underneath the basket. And we'll have a baseball pass flung up the floor to Colton Hoffman. Hoffman stops. He'll pass it back out on top to Blake Johnson. Johnson for three. It rolls off. And he can't get back to the rebound. And Aaron Bertzer comes up with the ball. He'll put in the layup. On the right side, it's 20-13, Elmwood Plum City. Colton Hoffman outside to Fisher. Pass too hot to handle. Goes out of bounds. 2013. Elmwood Plum City leading Colfax. 4:21 left first half. And over on the far side, Bertzer. Bertzer to Pomeroy. Back out to Riley Beckel between the jump circle and the key. Beckel out to Trevor Asher, down underneath and going up with a shot and making the basket, Lucas Klaus. 6 points for him so far for the Wolves. Johnson across the timeline. Johnson up high on the left side, and we have a timeout on the floor called by the Colfax Vikings. 3:38 remaining first half. Elmwood Plum City Wolves 22. Colfax 13. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Vikings off the timeout with the ball. Ensminger up high, far side. Give and go to Blake Johnson. Give and go to Charlo. Back out to Ensminger. He'll drive, pop it up from 8. Good! That's the first points for Elijah Ensminger tonight. EPC tosses across the timeline to Bertzer. Bertzer up high with Fisher guarding him. In the middle it goes to Pomeroy. Pomeroy trying to get it into Beckel. Ball gets loose in the court, picking it up. Klaus. Klaus gets it over to Beckel. Beckel puts up a shot and it's missed. And we're going to have a foul charge to Elmwood Plum City's Aiden Bertzer. Nick Jensen checks in for the Vikings as Colton Hoffman goes to have a seat. On the free throw line for Colfax is Charlo. Charlo puts it in. Charlo makes number one, and he'll be waiting the second here. Passed into him. He'll dribble it a couple of times and drain that one. Colfax trailing by 8 to Elmwood Plum City, 25-17. So Wolves bring it up the floor. It's Martin. Martin out to Maxwell. Back in the middle to Martin. Martin and Maxwell. And then it goes back over cross court to Glaus. Glaus manages to get rid of it on the baseline to Maxwell. Maxwell puts it up. Shot bounce. Miss. Pomeroy reload. Falls to the floor, and it's rebounded by Charlo. Charlo up to Ensminger. Ensminger hammered on his way to the basket. Ends up on the floor, and he's going to shoot two. That foul is on Aiden Maxwell. That's his first. Sends Ensminger to the line for two for the Vikings. First shot, falls short. 2:28 to go. First half, it's 22-17, Elmwood Plum City. Second one good. Wolves bring it up the floor. It's Maxwell, or check that, that's Martin. Martin out to Glaus. Glaus left open from the sideline, drains the three-pointer. 25-18, Elmwood Plum City leading Colfax 9 points so far for Lucas Glaus. Out to Medine. To Jensen, trying to get it down into Charlotte. They'll go back outside the arch to Medine. He'll go to the near side to Ensminger. Ensminger pulls back. He's going to set things up. Oh, still in the man-to-man defense. Ensminger goes up, hits the front iron. Jensen gets his hands on it, but it ends up in the hands of Glaus of EPC. In the middle it goes to Asher. Three-point land again. Lucas Glaus drains another one. 12 points for him tonight so far. Vikings with the ball up the floor. It's Ensminger. Ensminger pops it up. That shot rolls off, and Elmwood comes up with the ball. Martin bringing along the far sidelines. Martin driving in, passes from the free throw line to Maxwell. Back over free throw line right to Asher. Asher will drive in around Charlo, puts in a layup right side. And we have a timeout on the floor called this time by Elmwood Plum City. They lead 30-18 over Colfax with 1:05 to go in the first half. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Welcome back to Colfax. 1:05 left first half. Vikings trail the Wolves 30-18. Over on the far side, Blake Johnson. One-handed bounce pass over to Nick Jensen. Jensen give and go to Ensminger. Ensminger pulls up from 11, hits the bucket. 30-20, Elmwood Plum City leading Colfax. Wolves bringing it up the floor. It's Martin. Martin outside the center jump serve. We'll flip a pass over to Aiden Bertzer. Halfway down to Asher, and then it's stolen away by Jensen for the Vikings. And up the floor, it's Ensminger. Ensminger drives the right side, and the ball stolen right out of his hands by Christian Martin. Wolves take it up, and it's Martin over to Maxwell from the far corner. He'll bounce it at the top of the key to Bertzer. Back down to the right side, and we're going to have a foul called on Jack Charlo of the Vikings. 15.2 seconds left first half. It's 30-20, Elmwood Plum City leading Colfax. On the free throw line, Trevor Asher, 6-foot senior, guard forward. And he swishes the first one through. Got a second one. Dribbles it a bit. And he'll pop it up and in. 32-20. Elmwood Plum City by 12. On the right side, Blake Johnson, free throw line extended right. He was going to hand it off to Fisher, but Fisher was out of bounds. So coming up to get it, Ensminger. He'll let it fly for three. Hits the rim, but doesn't go in. 32-20. The Elmwood Plum City Wolves lead the Colfax Viking Boys. We invite you now to stay tuned for Viking halftime. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Logan Swartz, who's a sophomore here at Colfax High School. And Logan, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I do cross country for the fall, and then I run track over the spring.
Okay, now when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has it been for you?
I started back in 4th grade. Ever since then, my friends have been trying to get me involved, seeing that I've been this tall for my age. So.
And you are.
Yep.
My arm's already falling asleep. Okay. So what's the most important thing you've learned playing basketball?
Just kind of getting in a routine. You know, basketball has always gotten me into a good routine when the season comes around. So kind of just getting in shape.
All right. So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
Just trying to be active as much as I can over the summer. You know, off season, always trying to get in shape, stay in shape. So.
Okay. All right. Very good. I've got some rapid fire questions for you.
Hit me with it.
Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Which kind?
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip, the good old standby, right?
Oh, yeah.
With nuts or without?
Depends on the day.
Okay, I understand that. Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, in fact, somebody ought to use that in a commercial somewhere. Your favorite color and why?
Red probably, kind of just team color.
Okay, very good. Now, if Logan Swartz could have a superpower, what do you think that might possibly be?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Probably speed.
Speed, super speed. Now, if you had super speed, what's Logan's superhero name to go with that super speed?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Gargantuan.
Gargantuan. All right. I'm trying to picture a really fast Gargantuan, and that, okay. All right. Your favorite NBA team?
Bucks.
And collegiate team?
Don't watch it. So.
You don't really watch college ball. That's okay. Is there a basketball player at any level of the sport who has affected the way you play your game?
Probably the classic like Kobe or MJ, just getting into the mindset of them, keeping up with them.
And you want to kind of pattern yourself after the big guys and see how they're playing their game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're talking with Logan Swartz here on Viking Profile. And Logan, what are your plans for after high school? Now, you're only a sophomore, so you got plenty of time to change these ideas.
Hoping to get a scholarship somewhere. If not, try out for the team. You know, just try and keep in shape.
Okay. And how about a shout out to the family?
Hard one.
Just say hi, Mom.
Hi.
She's out there waiting for it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When people come to watch Viking games, what number are they going to be looking for, and where on the floor are they going to find you?
44 in the post.
44 and on the post. All right. We want to thank Logan Swartz for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive, ZWX. you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular.
Let's go see your room.
How is it? Is it good?
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colfax. The JVers, the Vikings, beat Plum City Elmwood, Plum City, however you put those communities in order, 34-30.
Depends what side of the tracks you're from.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. In the varsity game here, we've got a couple of minutes left in halftime, and Elmwood Plum City leads 32-20. Let's take a look at the numbers.
Yeah, here's the scores right now for the Wolves. They're led by number 5, Lucas Klaus. He's got 12, followed by Trevor Asher. He has 10. We have Aiden Berkser with 2. Oh, we got Christian Martin with 5, and Devin Pomeroy with 1 for the Colfax Vikings. Their leading scorer right now is number 12, Jack Charlo. He's got 6, followed by Elijah Springer with 5. Nick Jensen has 4. Kyler Irwin has 3, and Aiden Fisher has 2. 32-20.
Yeah, so it's looking like, there's been an impact with 2 games back-to-back.
Yeah, we saw that last week too when they played, can't remember, they played somebody and then Spring Valley. And, maybe a little heavy legs tonight. They have to be aware of that, because I'm sure the Wolves have seen that. They'll probably push the ball in transition a little more. And so Colfax will have to do a good job getting back on defense here.
Yeah, and it's been kind of a tough shooting night for the Vikings, too. A lot of things that went up that, looked like they might go in and just wouldn't drop.
Yeah, I've seen a couple shots come up short, and using their arms instead of legs. And I think they're just going to have to try to lay on their bigs, Hoffman, Jensen, and Charlo to create something on the inside, and maybe see if we can get Yerington or Ensminger to hit something from the outside.
So both teams out on the court. We're ready to go here for the second half. 18 minutes on the clock. Colfax is going to start with the ball, and they are in home white. They're going to move right to left as you look on here from Colfax. Ensminger dumps it into Jensen. Jensen trying to go up, and we're going to have a jump ball called. It'll be possession in Elmwood Plum City. So the Wolves bring it up. It is Martin up on top to Holt. Back up to Trevor Asher. Back over to Holt. Holt free throw line left. Goes to the other side to Glaus, and he'll let it fly from three-point land. I don't know, maybe it's that hoop. That one banged in there and fell out too. Irwin inside to Charlo. Charlo, a reverse layup down underneath on the left side. He'll get to finish off a three-point play. 17-21 left second half, 32-22. Elmwood Plum City leading Colfax by 10. First shot by Jack Charlo. Or only shot by Jack Charlo, doesn't go in, and Martin brings it up the floor for Elmwood to Holt. Holt in the middle to Asher. Down underneath, they fire it into Martin. Right there to guard that is Irwin. Back out to Holt. Holt shot missed. It's going to go to Elmwood. Jay Fall and Dan Petshaw with you. Chris Olson on the camera, and the executive producer Rick Olson here as well. We're in Colfax as Elmwood Plum City leads. And it's Blake Allen with the ball up top. Allen gets it into Glaus, makes a move around Jensen, and puts it in. 34-22, a 12-point EPC lead as Colfax drives in. It's Irwin. Irwin out to Jensen, to Johnson. Johnson between the jump circle and the wheel. Drives around the screen by Jensen. Give and go to Charlo, and then Ensminger comes to take it. Then it'll be Blake Johnson. Out to Irwin on the right side, drives the lane, and we will have a foul on the way in. That's going to be called on Blake Allen of the Wolves. Check that, Lucas Glaus. That is his second. He's going to send Kyle Irwin to the line for 2 free throws. 2 fouls for Elmwood Plum City. And the first free throw is good. As is the second. Back to a 10-point Elmwood Plum City lead over Colfax, 34-24. Wolves bring it up the floor. It's Martin. Martin out to Holt. Back over to Asher. Asher to Martin. Martin drives across, and then he'll go back free throw line right to Glaus. Top of the key, Allen looks at one, and he'll dish it off to his left to Asher. Asher down to Holt. Holt back out on top to Martin. Holt in the corner. Dribbles it once, back to Martin. To Allen. Colfax still in the man-to-man. Back out to Bo Holt. And he'll alley-oop it into Glaus. Glaus will put it up hard. Jack Charlo leaps up to get the rebound. And Lucas Glaus is right there. And he's going to end up with a foul, his third. 15.5 minutes left in the second. EPC with a 10-point lead over the Vikings of Colfax, 34-24. Back out to Charlo. Charlo across the half-court line. He'll get it back on a nice outlet pass from Ensminger, and that layup just wouldn't fall. So Martin will bring it up the floor for Elmwood. Martin out to Allen. Back up on top to Bertzer. Back free throw line right to Asher. Near corner. Back into Allen. Allen with a layup miss. Rebounded by Jensen. Jensen flips it, and some nice tightrope work there by Ensminger. saves it, goes out to Hoffner, and it's Blake Johnson for three in the near corner. That ignites things on the Colfax side. 34-27 EPC. Allen dishes it back to Bertzer. Bertzer out to Asher. Asher from the sidelines out to Martin. To Allen. Allen out to Bertzer, and then driving down on the left side of the lane. Martin, and then putting it up from the corner. Allen rolls out. Rebound by Jensen. He gets it up to Irwin, to Charlo. Charlo called for a player control foul. 34-27. That's Jack Charlo's second foul of the night. EPC will bring it up the floor. It's Martin. Martin across the timeline, goes off on the right side to Allen. Aiden Maxwell comes to help him out, opposite side. Back here on the near side to Bertzer, down underneath to Martin. They'll knock it out to the corner, and then Bertzer lets it go over to Allen. EPC now going around the horn, trying to mix things up. Cleared Colfax out from underneath. 2-3 zone now being played. And that's going to go out of bounds off Elmwood. .38 left second half. 34-27. A 7-point lead for Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Elijah Ensminger drives up to the top of the key. Let's go to Charlo. Charlo into Jensen. And that ball knocked right out of his hands by Aiden Maxwell. Maxwell to Martin. Martin drives the left side, waits, puts a move up and around, and he'll put in the layup. 36-27, EPC up the floor quickly. Ensminger. Ensminger trying to keep things moving. He'll get a one-handed pass out to Johnson, far side. Johnson left side of the lane goes out to Charlo. Charlo up from the free throw line, catches the back iron, no good. And it's rebounded by the Wolves' Trevor Asher. Asher to Martin. Martin in the middle. And it's stolen away by Ensminger. Going for the layup. Makes it. 36-29. Coming up on 12.5 minutes to go in the second half. It's Martin. Martin up high on the right side. Martin flips it over to Allen. Allen up on the left wing. Back to Maxwell. Down in the near corner to Martin. Martin drives up, puts it off the glass and in. Colfax quickly up the floor. Charlo. Charlo driving the left baseline. He'll get a pass cross court. Trying to get it over to Ensminger. And it goes out of bounds off the Wolves. 12:07 remains, second half. 38 for Elmwood Plum City. 29 for Colfax. Ensminger into Charlo. Or check that, that's Medine. In the middle to Yarrington. To Medine. Medine, free throw line right. Back over to Ensminger, opposite side. He'll drive to Lange, pop it up from 13 and make it. Nice shot. 38-31, a 7-point lead now for Elmwood Plum City. Dribbling, Martin. He'll flip a pass over to Maxwell. Left wing. Maxwell trying to get it back to Dylan, that's Aiden Bertzer. He goes out. Colfax will get it back. Yarrington will toss it inbounds to Medine. Set things up for Colfax. Crosses the C in the center. Goes into Jack Charlo. Charlo drives up and in for a layup on the left side. And now Elmwood Plum City's lead cut to 5, 38-33. And the Wolves want a full timeout. 11-11 remaining second half. It's Elmwood Plum City 38, Colfax 33. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2 and Viking TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Lucas Gloss is going to throw it in for Elmwood Plum City. Gets it into Blake Allen. Allen will direct things under there to Bertzer. Free throw line left. He tries to get a pass in. Trevor and Asher stolen away. Coming up with it is Medine. Medine out to Yarrington. Yarrington driving in. And ball will go back out to Colfax on the foul that is charged to number 11, Hayden Bertzer for Elmwood Plum City. It's Bertzer's second foul. And looking to throw it in, Mitch Medine. Medine gets it into Yarrington. Give and go to Ensminger. Ensminger popping it up from 12. Rolls off the back iron and the ball gets loose. It's going back to the Wolves. 38-33. Colfax trailing Elmwood Plum City by 5. Wolves bring it up the floor to Glaus. Glaus throws it from behind the half-court line, gets it over to Asher. Asher will drive the baseline on Charlo, doubled up on. He'll get it back to Allen, free throw line right. Up to Pomeroy. Pomeroy takes a look, pass gets loose. Asher can't bring it in, but it is going to last be touched by Jack Charlo. So the Wolves keep it. Underneath it's Holt. Into Allen. Back down free throw line right to Lucas Glaus from the sideline for 3. Elmwood Plum City 41, Colfax 33, 10-10 remaining, second half. Ensminger directing traffic, drives over to the right wing and heads toward the basket. He's going to go up off the glass and good. Nice 7-footer. 41-35. Raiders with the ball, or the Wolves now. The Raiders, the former name. Pomeroy up on top. Blake Allen up on top. Allen out to Glaus. Passing it back and forth up on top. Now goes to Asher. Asher up to Pomeroy. To Allen. Vikings have things tightened up pretty much. Ball goes over the top on the shot from Bo Holt. Into the hands of the Vikings, driving in Ensminger. Ensminger out on top. Medine's going to drive in, bounce up to right underneath to Charlo. Charlo puts in the bucket. And now the Vikings pulled within 4. It's 41-37. Elmwood Plum City coming up on 9-minute mark in the second half. Pomeroy gives it off to Allen. Back out on the outside. Glaus puts up a 3-ball miss. Coming up with a rebound, Mitch Medine. Medine over on the far side, bringing it up the floor, looking skyward, gives it to Ensminger. Ensminger, free throw line right, drives in from the sidelines. And we're going to have a, well, what do we got going here? Foul's going to be charged to Blake Allen. And throwing it in, Medine out to Yarrington. Drains the 3-ball. Colfax within 1, 41-40, 8:30 to go, second half. EPC with a very narrow lead now. Allen out to Glaus. Martin driving around the top, 3 ball out. Blake Allen misses it. Tipped around, rebounded by Colfax. That's Colton Hoffman. Hoffman up to Ensminger. Ensminger out to Medine. Ensminger will pull it back out on top for the Vikings. Colfax will set it up. Down by 1, 7:55 to go. Pass goes out on top to Medine. Back to Ensminger. Ensminger gives it back to Medine. Medine out at half court. Colfax gonna look for the opportunity here. Medine, give and go to Yarrington. Yarrington, free throw line right, bounces around, just quite doesn't go. And we're gonna have a foul charged to Colton Hoffman. That's Hoffman's 3rd foul. It's only the 2nd foul for the Vikings, so we have a timeout on the floor. 7:27 remaining, second half. It's Elmwood Plum City Wolves 41, the Colfax Vikings 40. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2 and Viking TV.
Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
7:27 remains here in the second half. Colfax Vikings have been fighting their way back into this one. They trail by 1. Elmwood with the ball. Christian Martin fires off the right side to Glaus. 3-point shot missed. Jack Charlo there with a rebound. Charlo and Ensminger. He'll dribble it to the mid-stripe and let it fly for 3. That one clears everything, but right there Medine tries to get it in, and it's picked off by Glaus. Glaus over on the far side for Elmwood. Over to Martin. Martin fires down on the baseline to Asher. Out to Glaus. Glaus free throw line left. Glaus going to drive in, pull it back. He'll give it to Asher, and then over on the far side to Martin. Martin drives outside. Martin to Glaus. Glaus underneath, and a foul is going to be charged on Mitch Medine, who is not happy about that. That's Medine's 2nd foul. And Colfax wants a timeout. 6:35 remaining, second half. Elmwood Plum City 41, Colfax 40. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2 and Viking TV.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have a lawn with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Thursday, January 19th, when the Vikings will host the Mondovi Buffaloes. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Thursday, January 19th.
Let's get the ball underneath their own basket. Inbounds pass goes into Asher. Asher out to an open Lucas Glaus, and he'll put it up and in from 14. Wolves stretch it back out to 3. It's 43-40. Wolves leading Colfax. Up the floor for the Vikings. Medine bounces it in to Charlo. Charlo goes up and puts it in. Charlo with a straight-on layup keeps it to within 1. Elmwood Plum City will bring it up the floor. It is Martin. Martin to Asher. And we're going to have a foul charge to, looks like number 12. That's going to go on Charlo. That is his third. Team fouls are 5-4 in favor of Elmwood Plum City. It's not a stat you want to rack up, but that's the numbers so far here. So it's pretty clean for, second half. Inbound throw goes into Maxwell. Maxwell goes up and he'll put it in. 45-42. EBC Wolves by 3. Give and go from Medine to Yarrington. Up to Ensminger. Ensminger driving around the arch. Back to Yarrington. To Charlo. Charlo's going to go up again. Shot missed and knocked out of bounds by Hoffman. Oh, they're going to say that went off the Wolves. (45-42), a three-point Elmwood Plum City lead into Jensen. He'll look at a shot, and they'll dish it back out to Ensminger. Ensminger up high on the right side. Give and go out to Charlo. Charlo to Medine. At the free throw line to Ensminger. Back to Medine. Free throw line left. Medine driving. Out to Charlo. Charlo going up again in traffic. Makes the basket and is fouled on the way in by Aiden Maxwell. 15 points for Charlo so far. And with this free throw, the Vikings can tie it up here. 5:17 to go, second half. And we're tied at 45. Brand new ball game, 5:17 left. 16 points for Charlo. Up the floor for the Wolves. Asher, or that's Martin. Down underneath, open, up and in with a layup, Lucas Klaus. 47-45, Elmwood Plum City. Vikings coming on with it. Yarrington to Ensminger. Give and go to Yarrington, give and go to Charlo. To Medine, out to Ensminger. Ensminger to Yarrington. Yarrington going to the spot, and he'll let it go to Medine there. Back out to Charlo. Charlo bounces it back on top to Ensminger. Ensminger pops it up from 14, rolls off, rebounded by Charlo. Charlo turnaround up, no good, rebounded by Maxwell. Martin up the floor for the Wolves, makes a pass over to the bottom of row one. I think he wanted to get it to Maxwell, and he was not there. Yarrington to throw it in from that spot. Vikings trail by 2, 47-45 to Elmwood Plum City. Fisher, mid-stripe, far side into Yarrington, out to Ensminger. Into Charlo. Charlo on turnaround and up. They hacked at his arm, but and it didn't go. Rebounded by Pomeroy. Pomeroy out to Martin, and we'll have a traveling call on the Wolves. 3:46 remaining second half. It's 47 for Elmwood Plum City, 45 for Colfax. Mason Yarrington throwing it into Elijah Ensminger. Across the C at center court. Ensminger going to take it right to the hoop. Missed off the right side of the rim. And EPC will bring it up the floor. It's Allen to Martin. Martin to Asher. Down underneath on the baseline. Right side Pomeroy. He's got to toss it back out to Asher. Martin, and Martin carries the ball. 3:19 remaining second half. Elmwood Plum City 47. Colfax 45. 6 fouls for Elmwood. The next foul on the Wolves is going to send the Vikings to the free throw line for a bonus. Charlo to Jensen, up to Ensminger, back inside to Charlo. Charlo's going to go up and in with a basket on the left side. Tied at 47, 3 minutes to go, second half. Martin up high, being guarded by Yarrington. Martin over to Allen. Allen Out to Martin. Free throw line left. Martin going to try to get it inside to Glaus. Glaus out to Allen. Allen for three. Bounces out big. Jensen struggling for the ball and reload. Short. Glaus back out in the middle. It's going to Blake Allen. Allen puts on a layup on the right side. 49-47 Wolves. Ensminger with the ball for Colfax. 2:20 left in the second half. Into Charlo to Jensen. Jensen out to Ensminger, down on the baseline, left side to Charlo. He'll go up and good. Tied at 49, 2 minutes left in the second half. Martin out to Allen, loses the ball. It's picked up by Ensminger, going for the layup. Missed! Rebound pulled out by Allen. And now a pass ends up on the sideline there. Elmwood still with the ball. Allen up on top, 1:36 to go. And we're going to have a 5-second violation. So Colfax will get the ball back at the base of the stairs on the visiting parents section. 1:34 remains in the second half. We are tied at 49. Drive it in, it's Fisher. Fisher loses the ball. It's going to go off Elmwood. So Colfax will keep it. 1:25 left, second half. 49 for Elmwood Plum City, 49 for Colfax. Inbounds, it goes into Jensen. Jensen's going to go up over the top, rebounded by Asher on the miss. Martin with the ball, 1:13 and counting, and a timeout called by Elmwood. They want a full one. 49 all, 1:12 to go, second half. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2 and Viking TV.
NLWN2 for exciting Colfax High School Boys Basketball.
This is what we came here for!
Our next game will be on Friday, January 20th, when the Vikings travel to Glenwood City to take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Viking pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Friday, January 20th.
Join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network Thursday night as the Viking girls play host to the Mondovi Buffaloes in the Dunn St. Croix Conference battle. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50, and that'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball Thursday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. 1:12 remaining, second half, 49 for Colfax, 49 for Elmwood Plum City. Wolves with the ball right in front of their bench. And Lucas Glaus will throw it out to Christian Martin. Martin, ball is tapped, but getting there is to pick it up as Glaus. Back then to Allen. Allen down, or Asher down to the baseline, stolen back by Colfax. Medine across the timeline, and now Colfax wants to talk about it. 52.8 seconds remaining. Second half, 49-49. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2 and Viking TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
Vikings to throw it in front of their bench. It goes inbounds to Medine. Medine crosses the timeline. Back out in the near corner goes to Ansminger. Looks like Colfax is going for the shot. Ansminger out to Fisher. Fisher for three! Fisher puts the Vikings up by 3. 52-49. Elmwood Plum City with the ball. Martin with it in the middle. Martin looking to go somewhere with it. Out to Blake Allen. Allen out to Glaus. 13 seconds left. Timeout rolls. 12.7 seconds left. Second half. Colfax 52. Elmwood Plum City 49. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2, and Viking TV.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean, fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
Join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network Thursday night as the Viking girls play host to the Mondovi Buffaloes in a Dunn St. Croix Conference battle. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50, and that'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball Thursday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Elmwood down by 3. They have the ball. It's Aiden Maxwell. He's going to throw it inbounds to Christian Martin. And Martin is fouled to stop the clock by Aiden Fisher. That's only the 5th foul for Colfax, so there's no bonus there yet. I got another foul to give here. 9-4. Driving in, and that is Christian Martin. Martin is fouled, this time by Aiden Fisher. Nope, check that. That's Elijah Ensminger. That's his second. So now there are 6 fouls apiece, but only 5.6 seconds remain in the second half. And the ball goes into the backcourt, and Elmwood's got to get it over there to Trevor Asher. He hits the back rim, and it's no good. Colfax hangs on to win 52-49. Wow. Second night in a row the Viking boys have played, and they come back from being down and win it 52-49. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort Food, the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as their names sound, plus they're healthy. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking Boys Basketball. We invite you now to stay tuned for Viking Postgame. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Boys Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Colfax Viking Boys game.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Time now for Viking Post Game, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Post Game.
Welcome back to Viking Post Game. Mark Knoll, the victorious coach of the Colfax Vikings. What a thriller!
Yeah, for the fans, I'm sure they had a lot of fun. As a coach, I feel like I'm about 75 now.
You rack up the years fast in just a couple of minutes. It seemed like the team was struggling in the first half. What sort of adjustments did you make to crawl back into this one?
Well, I think at halftime we just talked about what we need to do defensively on a couple of those screens that they were making out there. And my assistant coaches did a good job of making some adjustments there for us. And then I think more than anything is just staying calm, not freaking out, not pointing fingers at each other, staying on course of what we try to do. And I think that's the key, especially with young kids. Like, when you start pointing fingers or start getting mad at each other, that's not going to help. That's not going to help. So we just try to keep believing in what we can do. And obviously, Aiden hit a big shot for us there to go up by 3 at the end. Yeah, that's amazing.
The focus is the key, I think, because, Elmwood, Plum City forced into that situation. Yeah. And if you're not on, you could be done.
And I think more than what I thought, but I think last night's really super physical game took a lot out of us, and we just didn't have that extra little pep. You know what I mean? And we were missing a little pep there today. But we still had enough to obviously to win, to win. But at the same time, I think that's what it came down to, is just that we just didn't have enough energy.
And so I think, conditioning and other sports that these guys play in and that sort of thing really shows through in a situation like this where you come from behind off 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very proud of the boys to fight through that. And like I told them after the game there, you have to win some ugly games once in a while. Once in a while, you're going to have some games that you got to say, what the heck was that, right? Now, all the power and all the respect to EPC. They played their butts off. They played really well. They did a great job trying to, executing their system of play. I just think that we were and that's no disrespect to them, but we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. How many times did we miss some easy shots or some layups there, you know what I mean? And those kind of things, the rim got smaller and smaller. But, I don't know what the points and stuff ended up being, but I thought Jack Charlo kind of stepped up towards the end there with some big buckets, And we had some other kids, too, that stepped up. But Aiden's big 3 was huge. Jack had 21.
Yeah, and I mean, he drove right in there. Just, they got the ball to him.
Yeah, he just said, they're not going to stop me.
Yeah.
That's just what his mindset was. They're not going to stop me.
And very few times they, they did, but,
And he's gifted athletically. He's a super athlete. He's strong and he can jump and he's physical. And I thought that, I'm proud of the boys just for how they played tonight. It was ugly, but sometimes you got to win ugly.
You bet. Well, I bet you can't wait for a couple of, or at least, 2 days in between your next ball game, and you keep rolling in the conference on the road.
Tomorrow will be kind of more of like an executing day and shooting day, and then Thursday will be our preparation day for Glenwood City. So there'll be a little less just because it's our 3rd game in a week, but we'll be done early tomorrow so they can get rested up.
Okay, what do you expect from the Hilltoppers?
I think they're going to be a scrappy team. Again, they're a well-coached team. I think every team in the conference is. When they're well-coached, they're going to be an intense team. Their coach is intense, so they're going to be intense. And it'll be another physical game, I'm sure. Sometimes we'll be wondering if we're wrestling or if we're basketball.
Well, Mark, congratulations. Hopefully you can kick back and get a few of those years back before you're back at it tomorrow.
Thank you. I'm hoping I can get back in the 50s.
Mark Knoll, the head coach of the Colfax Vikings boys. An exciting finish, coming from behind to win 52-49. And Dan, let's take a look at the numbers and how we got there. Oh, you want to take a break? Okay, we'll take a break. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that could be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Colfax comes from behind with a big Dunn St. Croix Conference win, 52-49 over the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Vikings now 3-3 in the conference. They are 5-4 overall, or 8-4 overall, sorry. 1-4 in the conference for the Wolves and 3-7 on the season. Dan, let's take a look at the tail of the tape here.
Yeah, here's the scores for Elmwood Plum City. Their leading scorer tonight was number 5, Lucas Klaus. He had 21 points. Followed by Trevor Asher, he had 10. Christian Martin had 9. Blake Allen had 4. Aiden Bertzer had 2. Aiden Maxwell had 2. And Devin Pomeroy had 1 for the Colfax Vikings. Their leading scorer tonight was number 12, Jack Charlo. He had 21 points. Followed by Elijah Ensminger, he had 11. We had Kyla Irwin and Aiden Fisher with 5. We had Mason Yerington with 3. We had Nick Jensen with 4 and Blake Johnson with 3. So that comes out to 52-49.
A great comeback because, they had a tough game last night with Boyceville, very physical and that sort of thing. It took them a while to get going, but settled down, got to work, and came out with a win.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it, was just staying in the game plan. Don't panic. Once you start to panic, you get a little stressed, which makes you a little tired, and then you don't go back. And good job in the second half staying in this game and keeping their poise and getting their points.
So the rest of the week here, we invite you to join us for girls Colfax basketball Thursday night. They host the Mondovi Buffaloes. And the boys will be back in action at Glenwood City on Friday night on NLWN 2. Both Viking pre-games start at 6:50 and the live action following that. For Dan Petchow and Chris Olson on the camera and executive producer Rick Olson, I'm Jay Fall. Thanks a lot for joining us for an exciting one tonight. Colfax comes from behind to win 52-49. Good night.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.